Experience Guide. Most of you have developed and presented posters before. So the next part of the presentation is basically going to be a best practices guide for review and maybe for future reference. I have several past Research Day of the Capitol poster winners for you to see as examples as well, and people usually really like to have those to refer back to. If you don't have experience developing a poster, I encourage you to also reach out to your mentor for some in-depth support. The University of Texas at Austin, I found, has a really well-developed online poster guide that maybe even seasoned poster presenters would benefit from, and I've included links to their material here. So a PowerPoint is the program that's traditionally been used for developing scientific posters, and the standard poster size is 48 inches wide by 36 inches tall. And we're going to use that as our maximum allowable dimensions for this event. You can vary slightly from that. In addition to printing a hard copy of your poster, which you're responsible for, you'll also submit a high-resolution PDF to our office electronically, and you'll do that through our website. I'll give you a link to do that with via email. And that PDF is due to me by March the 15th. The purpose of this particular research poster is to share your research with legislators, the public, your peers, and of course the judges. So your poster won't be a mirror image of your abstract. Rather, it's going to communicate a takeaway message and spotlight your most important ideas and findings. And it goes without saying that the Research Day at the Capitol poster must be the work of the student researcher. So every poster should be customized for the event. And your Research Day at the Capitol poster is being judged by highly educated individuals from various fields. But it's also being viewed and shared by people who don't have a science background. So this means you have to walk a really careful line and be able to translate for the various audiences. So you need to include all the essential information with concise writing, avoid jargon, but do not oversimplify or dumb down your project. So this is the general format for sections of a poster. The difference for this event compared to others is the addition of the 5 by 5 inch blank space in the top right corner of the poster. You need to leave this area of the poster here, right here. You need to leave that area blank for a poster number that we'll provide to you prior to your judging session. Use a logical flow when you design your poster sections. Move from left to right and top to bottom. Don't jump around. So the flow and direction of this winning Research Day at the Capitol poster is really simple to follow. The sections are clearly defined, and she uses really well-labeled graphics. Here's a crib sheet for font size recommendations. You should use simple fonts and be consistent throughout your poster. So for example, use the same size and style font for all of your headings. The size of font in the text boxes should allow for about 11 to 12 words on each line, but the font size in all the text boxes should be the same style and also the same size. You need to use visual aids like photos, charts, and graphs instead of only words to tell your story. This helps break up all of the text. You also need to be really sure to label them and to use high-resolution photos. Here's an example of a winning Research Day at the Capitol poster that used graphics to help tell the story really effectively. This grand prize poster uses minimal text and relies really heavily on graphics. Background's clean, clear, easy to read, and the charts and figures are clearly labeled. I do want to mention that the text is a little wonky on this, but that's totally me. On my slide, the actual poster was not that way. So somehow when I moved this onto my slide, I moved his text around a little bit. So that's on me. So your title should be simple, engaging, and concise. You also need to list all of your authors, and the institution that you list will be the institution you are representing for this event. And that's really important for the OU Health Science Center student to remember. This grand prize poster illustrates the simple title example. It also utilizes graphics to tell the story, and all of this abstract here at the top is longer than some abstracts is placed at the top, and it doesn't appear to be overly dominant because of the proportions. Now, not all posters include an abstract section, so talk to your advisor and see what they recommend. Be sure to clearly indicate what problem or issue you're trying to solve. The background and objective sections outline how your research contributes to the existing research, as well as your overall objectives. So indicate what methods you used, and this is a good area to include a visual aid. This winning poster from a past competition included an abstract section, and she labeled her background section Introduction. So you can see that you have you have the total ability to make this poster your own. You need to explain your results through effective use of charts, figures, and illustrations. And don't forget to use legends for each of those. And the discussion section can also be conclusions. This is where you explain what your results indicate, your future plans for the research, and where your research could lead for other research projects. This is a past grand prize winning Research Day at the Capitol poster, and the student used numerous graphs to illustrate her results. She also labeled the discussion section Future Directions, and she outlined how her project could be extended to other studies. The relevance of study section shouldn't be overlooked. Explain why your research matters. And acknowledgements, acknowledge your funding sources, collaborators, journal articles that you've cited. And this poster clearly acknowledges all of the funding sources and sponsors throughout the poster. You can see here the NIBLAC scholar, he was a NIBLAC scholar. You can see OK LSAMP here, College of Arts and Sciences, all of the acknowledgements down here at the bottom, NSF. This grand prize poster started off with the first section highlighting a societal impact statement. And as I've said multiple times, this has now been changed to the relevance of study for this year. Her acknowledgement section is located across the entire bottom of the poster instead of in a separate box. And that's okay too. You have lots of room for personalization. Okay, some do's and don'ts. The sections on this poster aren't aligned. So it's really hard to know where to go next. They use visual aids, but there are just too many of them. It's distracting, and they aren't at all labeled. The photo background detracts from the poster, and it makes the title just almost disappear. You can see more examples like this one on the University of Texas of Austin website that I linked to at the beginning of this part of the presentation. This poster could benefit by simply changing the color scheme. The dark background with the light text is just too hard to read, and they also use photos without proper citations. So last year, due to the pandemic, we posted all of our Research Day at the Capitol posters, abstract, and also the 3-minute audio clips online. Now, the audio clips were not the actual clips that the students presented to the judges, but most of them were very close to what the students did present. Also on that website, the winners are listed at the top of the web page. So after this presentation, if you would like to go to that website, you can look at who the winners were and go and review their materials. I think that would be a really good and novel opportunity for you to see what the judges liked and to look at some past winners.